How's everybody doing today? Good? All right, so obviously I have this thing here, right? But I have nothing with me. But today is going to be a sort of fun day. We have about an hour presentation ahead of us. I am going to, again, my name's Jack. I work at New England Wildlife Center. And today we're going to be showing you guys just a few of the educational animals that we have at the center. I also wanted to take this time to explain a little bit about what the Wildlife Center does, how we take care of wild animals, and then, what we do once they're ready to be released back to the wild, okay? So hold on and bear with me just 1 second because I have to go get my first friend, okay? If you guys are in the best spot in the house, probably, if you're right here, all right? The first guy coming out, his name is Falco. He's a red-tailed hawk, okay? So before he comes out, all right, I really quickly want to give everybody sort of a summary of the Wildlife Center and what we do. So my role, right, I'm the education director over at New England Wildlife Center. It's my job to write programs about curriculum related to natural conservation, the environment, and then also about wild animals, all right? So today, right, all together, we're going to talk about sort of how the animals that are coming into the building are treated and then released back to the wild, okay? Now, in order to do this, I need all of your kids' help. If you guys can hear me, raise your hand, okay? I need everyone's attention today. There's going to be no talking amongst ourselves just because it's really hard for me to talk while you guys are also talking. Does that make sense? So while I'm talking, if you guys don't mind just listening in, you guys can ask questions, okay? You can raise your hand if you do have a question later on. Not yet, but hold on to them because we're going to ask that at the end, okay? So getting back to it, all right? My job is to bring programs to you kids, okay? And at the Wildlife Center, we treat around 6,000 wild animals every year, all right? So a lot goes into that. I work with veterinarians, veterinary technicians, field researchers who go out into the woods and find the animals, right? And it's our job to care for sick, injured, and then orphaned wild animals who no longer have their parents and need some extra help, okay? So summer is a very busy time for my wildlife hospital. Now I have a question for everyone in the audience, all right? Who here at home has a pet? Raise your hand. Okay. So a lot of us have pets. That's awesome. You guys can put your hands down. Thank you. If you have a cat or a dog, raise your hand.
We got a cat and a dog.
You have both? I love it. Okay. All right, so put your hands down. A lot of cat and dog owners. Now, how about a reptile? Who here owns a reptile? A snake, a turtle, a tortoise? Typically, there's less reptile owners around, but that's awesome. I'm glad you guys, we have some in the audience, right? Voices down, okay. So I asked you this because not only is New England Wildlife Center a place to care for wild animals, I also brought in a few animals today that are my pets and they're reptiles. Now these guys are sort of part of our other side of business, which is called the Odd Pet Vet. So what we do is we treat people's exotic pets. So if you have a 12-foot snake or a huge tortoise or some fish or a really old parrot, right, we'll take care of those guys just like we would the wild animals, okay?
You know what? I love dogs.
You love dogs? I'm sorry I didn't bring a dog today. I really was trying to hope to bring some of my own friends, but I only have reptiles in the bird, okay? So you guys wait here, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in the first animal, and then I'll sort of tell you guys about him first and how he fit into the Wildlife Center story, okay? So the first animal is a bird. So I need your help because sometimes you can get a little bit stressed out. So the best way for you guys to help me while I bring him out is for you all just to stay as quiet as you can, right? Stay in your seats, no jumping up or getting out and walking around while he's here. And then just keeping your voices down to as low as you can do while he's here with us. Okay, that way he doesn't get too upset or scared. He's very good. He's done this for 13 years. So this is not his first rodeo. But we always just like to prepare Falco for his journey. So you guys wait right here. This is where he's going to sit, and I'll be right back with him, okay? So I want to get in front of my perch. Can everybody here see the bird? Awesome. So can I have everybody very quietly, right, say hi, Falco? What did you think of that? Did you like that hello? It was okay. He liked it. So I wanted to introduce everybody. I know, you want to get to your perch. Here,
That was cool.
jump. I want to introduce everybody to Falco, okay? Now, Falco is a very special bird. He is a red-tailed hawk. Now, I have a question for you all. Who here has ever seen a hawk outside? If you have, you can raise your hand. So a lot of us have. And that makes sense, because in this state, we have a really good bunch of different habitats, right? Places where animals live. And in those habitats are over a dozen species of hawk, okay? So we have large and small varieties, and these guys are apex predators. Does anybody know what an apex predator is? What's an apex predator?
A predator that rules over all of them.
So he's at the top of the food chain, right? So being at the top of the food chain means he gets to pick what he wants to eat, but he has a few rules, okay? First, he's an obligate carnivore. You'll never catch this bird eating a carrot or lettuce or a blueberry, right? He doesn't like them. What he does like is meat, okay? So he will eat a mouse. He would eat a snake. He would even eat another small bird, okay? So he's not a vegetarian, no. He's a meat eater. He's getting comfortable, don't worry about that. So, step up and step down. Show everyone your face. Okay, thank you. Sometimes he likes to spin around. Just let me know if he does it again. We'll flip him back this way, okay? So this guy's a meat eater who is an apex predator in our local habitats. But why is he with me? Okay, because I told you I work at a wildlife hospital. We treat animals, but our goal is always to get them back to the wild, okay? I want to make sure that they're healthy, but then if they can go back where they came from, that is considered the greatest success that we can do. But sometimes animals get really, really hurt, okay? And some of those injuries are going to actually prevent them from being able to go back to the wild and being on their own. All right, so Falco actually has a story of his own. All right, now let me tell you guys Falco's story. So Falco was 2 years old when he got into trouble, okay? Now hawks, they love to fly around, all right? That's why they have their big wings. That's why they only weigh about 2 to 3 pounds. So they can fly for a very long time. Now he was hunting one day, okay? Now when he's hunting, guess what he does? He flies 10 stories into the sky and starts to twirl around. All right, while he's looking around in the sky, he uses his incredible vision. Okay, everyone point to your eyes. All right, we all got 2 eyes. Of course, he has 2 eyes as well, but they're on the sides of his head. Helps him see more. Okay, and he's looking around for food. Now his eyesight is 8 times better than a human's. So what that means is that he can see in more detail, he can see more colors, he can see farther distances, which is the most important part. Okay, so even when he's really up high in the sky, he can see the small little mice running through the grass, right? As clear as day. So that way he knows exactly who to go get.
Like that tall?
Even taller than the top of this roof.
I have those.
Maybe like 5 of these roofs combined, right? So he, right, is a good hunter. So the day that he got in trouble, he normally likes to hunt in a meadow. Do you guys know what a meadow is? There are no trees, but normally it's a really open field, right? Flowers, really tall grasses, great places for little mice and small rodents to hide, right? So he loves to hunt in those areas. But sadly for Falco, right, something happened. He decided to hunt in the wrong area. Who here has heard of a highway? Right? Me. Everyone's probably driven on a highway, maybe even some of you to get here today. It's where cars are, right? You go to Maine in the highway? Well, that would be a long drive, so you'd have to take the highway. So great comments, thank you guys, thank you. But this guy, right, he was hunting on a highway when he got hurt. So what happened? He found the mouse that he wanted to eat, but it was right on the side of the road. So what happened is he focused in. Now hawks, of course, have their amazing eyesight, but believe it or not, it gets them into trouble. Okay? So let me tell you how. So you guys have 2 eyes. We have 2 types of vision. And if you didn't know, here's what they are. We have something called focal vision. Okay? That's when you're looking at something, like I'm looking at you, and everyone around what I'm looking at is considered my peripheral vision. So they're not my focus, right? So you're my focus, right? Everything else is my peripheral. You're my focus, right? Everyone else is my peripheral, right? So hawks, when they focus on something, they lose their peripheral vision. They actually can't see what's around them. So what does that mean for when he's diving for his food? It means that he can accidentally not see something coming at him really fast, and he could get hit. Okay? So what do you guys think happened to Falco? He got hit by a car. That's exactly right. One of the most common things, exactly like that. Just like that. Okay? So he bounced off the windshield. Falco, sadly, right, did not see that car coming. So he didn't get his meal. He got hit by a car, right? And the guy was worried. Obviously, he saw Falco bounce off his windshield. He pulled to the side of the road. He parked his car. He got out. He said, "Oh my goodness, I just hit a hawk." He was looking around. He was trying to find him. He saw him fly into the treetops over in the corner of the road. So he called me. He said, "Jack, I just hit this hawk on the road. I think he's hurt. Can you guys help him?" And we said, "Yes, we're going to try and come out there. We're going to try and find him." We went out. We tried to find Falco. We couldn't find him. All right? He had flown so high into the treetops and into the woods that he wasn't able to be retrieved. Okay? So we said, "We'll come back tomorrow. We'll try and see if we can find him then." Because we knew that he broke his wing, or at least hurt his wing. We knew he needed some help. We went back the next day, and guess what? I couldn't find him. Right? The day after, we kept on trying. We went back, couldn't find him. A week went by. I was losing hope. I said, "I don't think we're going to find this hawk." But then, as you would believe, this random lady, right after we left the park trying to find him that day, called me. She said, "Jack, I just saw a hawk fall out of a tree. He hit the ground. Now he's laying here in front of me like this." Right? "I think something's wrong with him. What's going on?" I said, I think that's the hawk that we've been looking for. Right? I asked her a question. I said, "I'm sorry, we can't come out right now, but will you help me bring him to the building?" She said, "Yes, what do I have to do?" And normally this is how things start with wildlife care. Someone like you guys, right, part of our community, finds an animal, calls me and says, "How do I help it?" And we normally walk you through the process, if it's safe. Okay? So we knew it was safe to pick up Falco because he was so tired, lethargic. He wasn't going to fight her or cause anything to make sure she was hurt. Okay? So we said, "Do you have a towel in the back of your car?" She said, "I do." I said, "Okay, this is going to sound weird, but I want you to go over to Falco with the towel. I want you to put it around his body and wrap him up like a burrito." Okay? I said, "Can you do that?" She said, "I'll try." She went over. She wrapped him up perfectly. Okay? She got both of his wings tucked in nicely. She put him in her trunk. She drove him to the wildlife center. And that's where he started this journey with us. Okay? So now we could help Falco. Let me tell you how we're going to help him. Okay? So when he came into us, his wing was completely broken in 3 places. Okay? It was really, really bad. But not only that, right? So much time had passed since he had first gotten hit that there was an infection starting. Okay? So it was a really bad break. So we had to make an immediate choice. The only way to save Falco was to take off part of his wing. Okay? So what we did, right? How we helped Falco. Sorry, buddy. Turn you around. Step up. So the doctor looked at him. Okay? He gave him what's called a physical examination. All right? He noticed that this wing on the right side was very broken. All right? He ordered x-rays. The x-rays came back and confirmed what he thought was the case. After that, he said, "There's only one way to fix this. And sadly, if we want to save this bird, it's going to be amputation. It's where half of his wing is taken off." Okay? It's like a surgery. Exactly. So he went through a surgery, right? Will you show everybody your wing? So we're going to notice here. One more time, buddy, if you don't mind. Okay? You're done with me. You can go down. Go for it. Go for it. He's deciding what he wants to do. You want to go on my shoulder? Okay. So he only has half a wing. Okay? This guy only has half a wing on one side of his body, on the right side. Okay? So, do you think that falco can fly?
No.
With one wing?
No.
So if he had two wings, definitely could. But with only half of a wing on one side, there's no way that he can fly. Okay? If there was any chance that he could fly, then what we would have done is put him back in the wild. But because he can't, we decided to see how he would do in front of people. And then we made him into an educational animal once we saw he was really good. Okay? So Falco's been doing this for 13 years. Okay? He's been with us now for a long time. And he's doing great. All right? Believe it or not, hawks can live to be 30. All right? 30 years old. That's very old for a lot of wild animals. Okay? But in the wild, it's different. Okay, that's his captive age. If he was in the wild, his average age is going to be 9. Okay? It's very difficult being a hawk. How much money? You can't buy one. They're wild, which means that they're only allowed in the wild. Okay? People can't have them as pets. The only reason that I do is because we are a wildlife hospital and we have the right permit, right? So he's an educational animal for us. So I have a few fun facts to share with you. Now you know his story, but let's talk about hawks in general, right? So, again, I think I said at the beginning, he weighs around 3 pounds. Okay, so even though he's a pretty big looking bird, he's very light. All right? Now there's 2 reasons for that. One, he's covered in feathers. All right, those feathers make up a very large majority of his body size. Now he has 2 types of feathers. Let's see if I can get one of these. Do you guys see these? Sorry, it's very small. It's going to float in the air. Do you guys see that?
I want it.
So whoever catches it can have it. So that is a down feather. Okay? He has those all underneath his body. You can actually see some of them sticking out right here. Do you guys see that? He's saying, "What are you doing to me?" Sorry. So those keep him warm. All right? Did you guys see him puff up at the beginning? You did, right? Yeah, do you know what he was doing when he did that? He was actually he was capturing a little bit of air and holding it against his body. It's called insulation, okay? Those feathers help keep the air under his primary feathers, the ones on the outside, and that keeps him warm. Now, he has other types of feathers. Step up. All of these feathers on his wings, okay, the outside, oh, surprise, surprise. On the back, the tail feather here, right, those are called his primary feathers, okay? Those are responsible for flight. All right, they're very rigid. So what happens is when you go like this, you can actually feel the resistance from the air. You can tell how, if you have 100 of them, how you can catch flight, right? So those are the only way he's flying. Now, those aren't his only cool fun facts, okay? Did you guys know that hawks have a superpower? And it's a pretty obscure one, I guess you could say. Okay, so you guys have lungs, right? All humans have 2 lungs. Okay, they're in your chest, and they're responsible for, getting a breath. So everyone here, take a deep breath. What you guys just did is you inhaled oxygen. Okay, that oxygen will then be transported through your lungs into your bloodstream to your muscles. So oxygen is actually what powers your next movement. It's how you can move. Okay? So some people say the more oxygen you have, the longer you can move. Right? So guess what this hawk can do? He doesn't just have 2 lungs. He has 4 bones that breathe in his body. They're called pneumatic bones. So he has one here, and then 2 in his legs. They're hollow. Okay, so what happens is he'll take his breath. He'll fill up his lungs, but then it keeps on going. He fills up his left, his right arm, and then his 2 legs. Okay? Now, why does that even matter? It's because what happens is he breathes it in, awesome, he gets oxygen, we do that too, that's not that special. What is special is when he exhales. All we do is get ready for the next breath. We don't actually gain anything from that. What he does is he'll exhale, his lungs will empty, and then his fresh oxygen from his bones will go through his lungs next. That means that no matter whether he's breathing in or out, he's getting fresh oxygen to his blood, which means he can fly and be active for very long periods of time. So those bones help him fly longer and hunt faster. Okay? Super important. It's why he's so successful as a bird of prey. All right? That's pretty cool, right? So that's one of his fun facts. Now, he has, of course, 4 talons on each foot, 2 feet, right? And a very sharp beak right here, okay? Now, I have trimmed down all of those for my own safety, right? If he has them really, really sharp, do you guys see this glove? This is a leather glove, okay? So to train a hawk, you have to get them glove ready. And what that means is you have to have something like this. You see this? It's a leather band on his ankle. It's attached to a leash, just like you'd walk your dog with, right? And then that leash, yes, holding up your hand, yes, show everybody. Now that leash, he can then hop on my glove. I can wrap the leash around my glove, hold him to my hand, and I can walk around with him on my hand, right? That's how he was trained. Now he's also really perch friendly. He loves perches. He hangs out on them all the time, okay? Now, I've said a few fun facts, okay? I've talked a lot to you guys about the bird. What questions do you guys have? Do you guys have anything you want to know about the bird? So we're going to try and not say stories today, okay? So I'm not trying to listen about stories. I want questions about the animal itself. So if you guys want to ask a question about Falco and how he lives his life, I'd love for you guys to say it. Yes?
Me?
Yeah?
Can you make him fly?
So can he fly?
Fly game. Really?
Remember, he has 1 wing. Can't fly. Yeah. He's hurt. Otherwise, he'd be in the wild. Yes?
I got a dog.
You have a dog. I love it. Is he big or small?
Big.
Big dog. That's very cool.
Huge dog.
Take care of him, okay? All right, take care of your dogs. Yeah, what's your question? A hermit crab?
We have 3.
Oh, not just 1. We have 3? I love that. Hermit crabs are awesome. What kind of questions do you have about Falco? Okay? Yeah.
Have you ever pooped on this?
Yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't already. Yeah. The question was, does Falco poop during presentations? The answer is yes, he does. Has he yet? No, but I'm surprised at that. Normally it's twice the presentation at a minimum, so maybe he's holding on to it for a little bit. Yeah, in the back.
How old is he now?
Right now he's 15. He's been with us since he was 2. Not 50, 15. Yeah, yeah. 50 would be a very old bird. Yes? Say it one more time. Falco is a boy. Good question. Yes?
How tall is he?
The question is, how tall was he? Is he? It's like a foot. What do you think? That's about a foot tall. Maybe a little bit taller. Yeah.
What do you feed him?
Great question. The question is, what do you feed him, right? And typically during the day, he gets fed a nice mouse on a silver platter, okay? So that's why he stays in such good shape. He gets fed 5 times a week with 2 off days, okay? So that's why they live so long in captivity as well, because they're fed an easy meal every day. So he doesn't have to hunt for it, which is always the tough part.
So he goes 2 days a week without eating?
2 days a week with no food, yep. And that's because he can't fly. He's not going to be as active as another type of hawk. So in order not to put too much weight on his feet and cause issues, we make sure his weight stays a reasonable size. He only weighs 2.5 pounds anyway, but you know, it can change drastically with an extra mouse.
What are the 2 days he doesn't eat?
The 2 days are Thursday and Sunday. So those are the days that he doesn't eat. He gets a little mad on those days. Yeah.
His broken wing, how big is his wingspan?
So typically these guys can get to 4 to 5 feet, I believe. So it depends on the size of the bird. The females are bigger than the males. Yeah. Yeah.
When he's flying, does he take more respiration to fill those holes? Does his respiration stay the same?
So typically when they're active, they'll be breathing more often. Yeah. Yeah. Great question. Any other questions about Falco?
Does he eat live or dead?
It's frozen. Yeah, frozen mice.
Then why does he die? Why does he stay frozen?
Well, he knows this is his job. He knows to stay on the perch just like that. Yeah, so he knows this is just another day for him. Yeah,
Why is he acting like a
he'll do that occasionally. Yeah, he'll stick his hand up like that. Yeah. All right, any other questions? Yeah.
How sharp are his claws?
So that's a good question. How sharp can his claws get? He can get sharp enough to pierce this glove, okay, to really just not care that I'm wearing it. So I have to make sure to always trim down his nails. They get very long. They probably get about maybe 1.5 inches in terms of length, so it'd be really, really long. Yeah, they're very sharp. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Say it again? So no. So the question was, right, does falco have teeth? And the answer is no. With this beak alone, right, which is actually made out of the same material that your hair is made out of, keratin, okay? It's just stronger, and your nails. That is all he needs to pick apart his food. So he'll just grab it and sort of pull it apart. We're going to bring out some more animals, okay? I'm going to put him back. Okay, so everybody say bye to Falco. Bye, Falco. So hang with me for a second. I'm going to bring in a slightly heavier friend next, okay?
It's an alligator, I think.
It is not an alligator.
What is that? I wonder what it is. An alligator.
Hooah. All right. You guys can all stay back. It is not, okay? So I just know this tortoise very well. She's gonna pee on me. So I'm gonna prepare myself in advance. So I would recommend to avoid the splash zone, okay? But I wanted to introduce everybody to my next companion. Her name is Valley. Everyone say hi to Valley. So Valley can't hear you. She has no ears, but she appreciates the hello, okay? But this animal is non-native, all right? So what that means is she's not from Massachusetts, okay? So even though I work at a wildlife hospital, even though I normally just take care of native animals, we also sometimes get non-native animals into our building too, as part of our odd pet vet service, okay? So, Valley is a 25-year-old sulcata tortoise. Sulcata tortoises are the 3rd largest species in the world, okay? So she seems pretty big right now, right? Yeah. She is not even 1/3 of her full size, okay? So she'll keep on growing until she's closer to 100 pounds, right? So she has a long time left, all right? Now, Valley is here with me because someone, right, 15 years ago, brought her into the building and said, you know, Jack, I can't take care of this tortoise. I didn't realize that she would live to be 100 years old, right? And I just don't have the space or the time. You know, I really would like you to help me out. So I said, yes, I will help. And we ended up taking Valley on as our own care, okay? So Valley right now is only 25, right? But she lives in the desert. She lives in the Saharan desert, typically in Africa, right? But they're owned as pets in people's houses all over the world. So sulcata tortoises are very sweet, right? All right, voices down, eyes on me if you guys haven't already. Okay, since we have 2 more animals to get through, so I want to make sure you guys have time with all of them. So I'm just bringing her back and forth because she maybe won't go to the bathroom as often if I do this, so this is my strategy. So Valley, right, she is my pet. She's not a wild animal. She's not going back to the wild. She's spending her life with us, okay? And at my wildlife hospital in Weymouth, we have 85 educational turtles and tortoises. So these guys spend their days with our staff. They hang out with volunteers. They go out for little trips outside into the woods, right? And they just spend some time just living their best life, as I like to say. So Valley, right, being a sulcata tortoise who lives in the desert, her butt is shaped like a shovel, okay? She has to be able to dig holes. In the desert, the top of the sand gets very warm. So if you want to get cool, you dig down to the lower levels. So she'll dig big burrows, and then when it's time to go to bed at the end of the day, she'll walk into the burrow and fall asleep, okay? Now, she is not a meat eater, right? Falco was, she's not. She only eats vegetables and fruits, okay? So in the wild, her favorite fruit would actually be the cactus star, something you find on a cactus, okay? She loves cactus too. But in captivity, she loves all kinds of lettuce. She loves all kinds of fruit and veggies, right? She'll eat, she loves cantaloupe and watermelon. Okay, I don't know if anyone here likes the same. Cantaloupe is an orange melon. It's very tasty. So she eats tons. Her salad back at home is probably as big as one of your squares here on this, this little thing here. She eats a lot, okay? But Valley, again, is still a baby. So even though she's 25, she has a long life ahead of her. She's going to continue to grow and get stronger. Now, I want to give everyone here a turtle tortoise shell lesson, okay? Because they're really important. Everyone take a look at her shell, okay? Bottom and top, all right? So this shell is made of what? Anybody know? What? What? Say it again? So it has calcium in it, but it's made of the same thing that your skeleton's made out of. What is that? Bones, right? So her big shell is one or multiple pieces of bone all fused together, okay? Now the top is actually really cool. Do you guys see all these bumps? Yeah. Those have a real important purpose. They're called scoots, okay? Everyone say that, scoots. So this is a scoot, that's a scoot, that's a scoot. All the bumps are scoots. Valley. So these scoots, what do? Right? Well, they make sure her shell grows with her. Okay? You were the one that had the hermit crab, right, buddy? Who had the hermit crab? Was it you?
It was my brother.
So hermit crabs, they leave their shells when they get too big, don't they? This guy will never leave her shell. Or this lady. She instead will just make it grow with her. And that happens from the scoots. Okay? As she gets older, her scoots will grow from the tip. So all of these are responsible for her shell getting bigger. All right? Who here has ever counted the rings on a tree? A few of us, right? If you didn't know, right, one ring on a tree equals 1 year of life. So you can actually count how many rings, get the age of the tree. You can do the same thing for a tortoise's scoot. Okay, you can look at their age by just counting the rings up from the edge of one scoot to the top. Okay, so you get the average age of a tortoise. Now she, again, is about 25. They get 2 new rings every year. She'll have 50 rings on one scoot. Okay? As they get really old, it becomes more of a guesstimate because those rings really smush together. Now, she, of course, this is a very big bone. Keeps her very, very safe. The bottom, this part, is called the plastron. Okay? So that is the bottom of her shell. You'll notice 2 spikes toward her face. Do you guys see those? 2 like little jetted little marks right here, right here. So this, right, that is a really important part of her defense. Okay? When she wants to stay protected, all she does is pull her hands into her shell. She goes like this to protect her face, and then she waits, right? She's not designed to bite and to scratch. Her job is not to attack something, right? Her job is to wait. That's why she has this big protective barrier, okay? So when she gets scared, she'll just hide in her shell, wait for whatever's bothering her to leave, and then she'll continue on her way, okay? She's a girl. She's so friendly that she won't hide on her own. Unfortunately, it's just because she likes people so much, she won't hide when she sees you guys, which is good. I like that. So if anyone here has a question about tortoises, right, you can ask it now. And I'd love to answer it. Yeah.
What is their little thing made out of on their little house?
On their what?
On their legs. What's the bumps?
Oh, okay, that's a good question. So the question was, what is on her legs, right? What are all these spikes? Well, she has a second name. They're not just called sulcata tortoises. Some people call them spur thighs, right? Spurs on their thighs. So these are the same, again, just like Falco. They're made of your fingernail stuff called keratin, okay? And these keep her safe. So these just increase her defense. Hands up if you guys have questions.
How
Yeah. She does it all the time. It's just something that turtles do. It's just part of the process of them being able to keep their bodies safe. Yes?
How small is it?
How small?
How slow?
Slow. She's pretty slow, right? But she's also very strong. People who have these animals as pets, right, at home, they actually call them furniture movers because this lady could catch your couch on the back of her shell and just keep walking, right? Some people come home and their furniture's all moved around. It's their tortoise's fault, right? They're very strong animals. They're very strong. Yes?
How do the turtles' shells grow?
So they grow when you feed them, just like you guys would grow and your bones would get stronger. The more you feed them, the more that they'll expand and get bigger. So again, they grow from these points right here. So I have about 20 kids here, right? 30, 40, we'll see. I want you guys to get a chance to touch your shell, okay? But before you do, all right, what I'm gonna do is this. I'm gonna put her right here in front of you guys, okay? And then, I don't think you can hold her, it's just too heavy. But what you guys are gonna do, you're gonna touch your shell. Now what can you not do? You cannot pick her up. You cannot touch her face, okay? And you cannot hit her hard. And you might ask, why? She has a really strong shell. Why can't I just hit her shell really hard? It's because she feels it, right? Would you guys want to be hit hard? No, right? So not only can she feel it, if you didn't know, right? Everyone take your fingers, itch your fingernail. That's what she feels if you were to itch her shell, okay? She can feel when you touch her. It's not just bone with no feeling. She can feel it when you itch, okay? So how are we gonna touch her? Just like this, all right? Hand on her. Maybe we can go like this. Maybe we can go like that, right? Maybe like this. She has skin and nerves on the outside of her body.
Like this.
You can do like this, you just cannot touch her head, okay? So I don't need everyone to come up. What I'm gonna do is I'll move her to this side, and I'll move her to this side, and you guys can make like little circles, and then we can do it that way, okay? So we'll start here with you kids. So if you guys, you can come on in. Why don't you come on in this way? You guys wait right there, okay? Are you two friends? Okay, all right, we'll make sure everyone's together if they're together. If you guys wanna come up, you guys can come up too. All right, friends, I have one more animal. If you guys want to take your seats again around, I'll bring them out, okay? Everyone say bye to Valley. Bye. She says bye as well. All right. So the last animal that I'm going to show you guys today is a ball python, okay? So again, just like the tortoise, all right, she is not a native wild animal, okay? She's actually from South America. She lives in the rainforests out there, okay? So remember, the reason that I have these animals is not because we have them really as pets on purpose. It's because as a supportive wildlife hospital, things have just happened, right? So voice is off, okay? Eyes are on me. You guys are doing really good, okay? So I need you guys just to listen up just so you can hear what's next, okay? So this is Jasmine. Can everybody say hello to Jasmine? Thank you. So Jasmine is a 15-year-old, right, ball python. They're very, very commonly owned. They're actually the most commonly owned snake in the world, okay? And you might ask why, and it's because they're extremely friendly, okay? Jasmine makes a great pet because she's non-aggressive, right? No one wants to get bit by a snake, right? So typically if you can find a snake that doesn't bite, that would be preferred. Right? If you have any questions or comments, you guys have to raise your hands. Otherwise, voices are off, okay? So, this snake she's been with me for 15 years, right? She's been here a long, long time. Now, she can live to be at least 25 years old, and she's about as big as they can get. Ball pythons typically don't grow bigger than about 5 feet. Okay, so she's at around 4 maybe right now. So she could get a little bit bigger if her enclosure was bigger, but we like to keep her around this size. Okay? Now, she is not a constrictor. A lot of different snakes have different ways to kill their prey, right? They're all meat eaters. They don't eat the fruits and veggies like Valley does. And normally they can use poison or venom. They can also, right, be a constrictor, and they can squeeze the life out of their prey. But this lady, she's called an ambush predator, okay? So what she does is she hides under leaves, right? And she's the same color as a bunch of dead leaves. She'll wait for something to walk near her, and then she'll use her very, very, she has a lot of teeth, 70 teeth. She'll grab what she wants and then slowly pull it into her mouth. Okay, so she typically only likes mice. And she can only eat something that's as big as the biggest part of her body. Okay? But what you guys might observe, right, is that her head is pretty small. Right? It's not as big as the biggest part of her body. How could she ever eat a mouse that's as big as this? Right? Well, it's because she has her own adaptations. Okay? Her mouth can actually dislocate. So, let me try and get my hand free. Of course, she's grabbing onto me. Thank you, thank you. I'll take my hand here, thank you. Okay, perfect. So, everyone go like this with your hands. Okay? So when you guys eat, this is like a human. We just go like this, that's it. When a snake eats, you know what they can do? They can actually open their mouths like this, and if it doesn't fit, they open their mouth like this. They dislocate their jaw. But they don't stop there. They have 4 parts to their jaw. They can actually open it up again and become 4 different parts like this, okay? They can increase the size of their face by 4 times. Super creepy, I agree, but it's the only way they're gonna eat something as big as they need to. So, she has 2 curved teeth in front and then 68 curved teeth all the way back in her mouth. They're very small, they're like little needles. And the reason they're curved is when she moves her mouth, that's the only way to pull the prey in. She doesn't have hands, right? She doesn't have feet. So she can't actually pull it in. She has to use her mouth to do that, okay? At least she has a body, exactly right. So all snakes, right, they come with their own colorations, their own sort of scale colors, right? And again, hers are this color because of the fact that she hides in dead leaves. But others are a lot brighter. Some are all white, all yellow, all red. They can be very pretty, okay? Snakes shed their skin once a month. And then when they get older, it's like every 3 or 4 months. So Jasmine, right, being as old as she is, it's about every 3 months. Now, her scales are shaped and sort of positioned only one way. She cannot back up. She can only go forward, okay? So when they slither like this, the only way they can do that is by going forward. They can't actually go backwards. If you put a snake on a big piece of silk, they can't move anywhere. They require friction for their movement. So if you remove that, they actually just will like rotate in place and not be able to go anywhere. It's pretty funny, okay? So, can she climb trees?
Yeah.
Yeah, she can. She can climb trees well, right? She can wrap herself around the base and just sort of wrap herself all the way up if she wants to. She's very good at that, okay? So Jasmine, when she eats with us, we put her in a dark container away from her enclosure. She has 2 major senses. Her eyesight stinks. It is not good at all, okay? She has little beady eyes. She can see blurry images. She can't even see the back of the room. Her eyesight's not it, okay? What she does have incredible sense of is her sense of smell, okay? Do you guys see her sticking out her tongue occasionally? And you guys all know that snakes' tongues are forked, right? There's 2 parts on the end.
Why do they stick out
Why? Why does a snake have a forked tongue? So they can smell and then pinpoint where that smell comes from. And to do that, what they do is a little bit of snake math. Did you guys know snakes do math? They do. Yeah. So they do a little bit of a distance calculation. And what they do is they let the air push the scents that they're going to smell, right? They'll stick out their tongue. It'll hit one side of their tongue. A few milliseconds later, it'll hit that other side of their tongue. And then they can do the math in their head to figure out how far away and where exactly that smell is. So they know, right? She already knows, being in this room, about where everybody is. And the people in the front, she can smell so good, she can probably smell what you guys had for breakfast yesterday. Right? She's super good. Okay? But that's not it. She has another really important sense. Because believe it or not, when things die, like let's say there was a dead mouse, that could be very stinky. Right? So she might smell that, but she doesn't want to eat dead stuff. So what she'll do is she'll use her second sense, which is something called a thermal receptor. So everyone, I'm going to bring her around. Look at the little holes around her mouth. If you guys can, look at all the little holes around her mouth. Okay?
Why do they have them?
I will tell you. Okay? So we're not going to touch her. No, we can't touch her today. So we're looking at the holes. So those, what they do is they detect heat. So not only can she see if something's smelly, she can then also detect whether it has heat and is still alive. If both of those are a yes, she'll eat it. Okay? And that's how she sort of identifies prey that she wants. Make sense?
Get that.
Yeah. So what kind of questions do you guys have about snakes? What do you want to know? What would you like to know about Jasmine in particular? What about you? This is a ball python.
I would like to ask a question.
What's your question?
They can shed their skin off and have brand new skin.
Yes. Yes, almost. She'll do it every 3 months.
3 months.
Yes.
That's like 3 years.
Instead of like dry leaves on a skin, it reminds me of, like over there, it's
Yep.
kind of like noses.
They do look like little faces, don't they?
No.
The coloration, I can see it. I can see it. Maybe even little alien heads, right? Yeah.
What's the max speed she can go at?
Say it one more time.
What's the max speed she can go at?
She can move pretty quick. Yeah, when they go fast, they can actually get going. I don't know how fast she can move, though. I'm not sure exactly. Yes. What's your question?
What does it feel like to be licked by a ball python?
What does it feel to be licked by a ball python? It tickles. It's a very interesting feeling. Unfortunately, we can't touch her today because there's just too many of us in the group. But at the Wildlife Center, if you guys ever visit, we do small little adventures, and people actually get more of an experience. They can touch these guys, okay? Yeah. Some people don't like to touch snakes. That is very true.
Yeah, I don't like
Yes.
I've never touched
Something else killed
We
them.
like
Yeah. She would eat it. She would eat it.
We like snakes.
Me?
Touched it.
No.
We like snakes.
You like snakes?
I've never
Good.
touched
Nothing to be afraid of. She's very sweet.
I've seen millions of snakes.
Question.
What do snakes see?
Mice. Yeah.
They can also eat eggs and swallow them whole.
You are 100% right. Yes, they can.
Do they drop off that skin and have a new one?
They shed because they get bigger and they don't need the old small skin anymore. Yeah. Yeah.
How long can they go without food?
So it depends. That's a great question. The question was, right, how long can a snake go without food? And the answer is sort of complicated, but it has to do with the fact that they're cold-blooded animals and don't need a lot of food anyway. The biggest snakes in the world can go 1 year without eating a meal.
Yeah. Wait, is it
No meal for a whole year and be
is it
totally
like
fine.
Indian snake?
I've seen snakes come into the wildlife center that haven't eaten in 2 years. Totally fine,
Wait, is that
right?
Brazilian?
They don't have the same metabolism as a human. You guys, you have to have a baseline of 1,800 calories every day just to power the fact that you have a really smart brain, right? Not even movement related.
I bet
But these snakes, they have a different way to live their life. They do not need to eat every day. Okay, very, very infrequently.
I bet that Galapagos tortoises can live up with a year without food or water.
It's a reptile thing. Yeah, if they're reptiles, their metabolism's much slower. Yes?
I think can a reptile move?
Yeah. She's not gonna. If she gets on the floor, she could get sick because there's stuff on the ground. Yeah.
It's turtles faster than swollen.
Snakes are faster than tortoises. Yeah. On average. On average.
I bet at the tortoise.
Yes.
Is it the biggest snake in the world in Brazil?
I think it's an anaconda, and I believe they live there. Yes.
Yeah, I seen those on snake.
Those are, yes, the biggest snakes in the world. They can have up to 500 vertebrae. This lady probably only has about 70, so they get a lot bigger. Yes.
Do they shed their scales?
Yeah, every 3 months. Yep. Yeah.
I can have a big apple.
Yeah.
Like, so about a button, like it had button like, and like,
It has a turtle in it.
yeah.
Does it have a snake in it?
I don't know.
You gotta read it again then. You gotta let me know. All right.
That the tortoise can eat snake.
A tortoise will not eat a snake. Don't worry. They only eat lettuce. So they don't like snakes.
What is that?
Yeah.
Can it kill a bird?
Could a snake kill a bird? Yes.
Can that snake kill a bird?
Could she kill a bird? Small one. Maybe a small one.
Banana python coming to the wild.
Probably. Probably.
The biggest spider
Yeah.
in the world can eat it. So, do like within like the ball python species, would like different ones have like slightly different patterns? Of
Colorations, yes. So that's called a morph. So within a species, you can get many different morphs. So those are different patterns and colorations. So even ball pythons can be a different color. So it's not just all the same color. So that's a good question. But yeah, it can be a lot of different colors and shapes. Depends where they're from. Yeah.
So like their patterns can be like a zebra's patterns.
Technically, yes. It's very unique. You know, they can very randomly change. Not once they have. She's not going to make a new pattern. But, you know, other snakes can have different patterns. No, yeah.
What's the number of ball pythons in the species?
In where?
In the species, like how many of them?
It's hard to say. It's hard to say. But it's probably dozens. Yeah. Yeah. His hand was up first. Yes.
How many years can pythons live up to?
25. 25 years. Yeah.
Are they endangered?
They're not endangered. That's a great question, though. Yeah. They're not endangered. Yes.
Does a little bit of the shedding stay on?
Sometimes they have a hard time getting it all off. Yeah. It won't come off in one piece. It'll be little pieces that you have to pull off. All right. Yeah. Last question, then we'll go on.
Give me a second.
You want me to come back to you?
How do this how many does this snake why did this snake come to the sanctuary?
She was given to me by someone who couldn't take care of her anymore. Yeah. But great question. I love that question. Okay, so this is about to be the end of the presentation. All right. I want to say, first of all, you kids had some really, really good questions. Okay, so I really appreciate you guys participating today and getting involved, asking the questions you wanted to know about, because that's really why my hospital exists. Okay, we're here to answer your questions, show you guys animals, and then if you guys ever find a wild animal that's hurt or that needs help, we want you to know that you can call us. Okay, so New England Wildlife Center, you can just Google it, right, and you'll probably find the number. But right? Just know that we have about 20 admissions every day. People are out in the wild just doing their own thing, going on nature hikes, you know, visiting the beach, and you guys just come across an animal that got hurt, right? It happens very randomly, but it happens very often. So just call us, right? New England Wildlife Center. We'll walk you through anything related to wild animals and make sure that animal gets help, okay? Now on the same sort of side of things if you guys are looking to learn more. We're open to the public 7 days a week. You guys can walk into my building, walk to the left of my front foyer, and go say hi to Falco in his natural habitat. Or to the other side and go say hi to my owls, right? We have a lot of stuff there to see. So we'd love to have you guys come on over on your own time, right? We're open 10 to 4 during the day, and you guys can see some of these friends on your own. We have goats, we have trails that you guys can walk around in. We have a bunch of cool stuff, okay? So, you guys did great. I'm going to end the presentation here, okay? After I put the snakes away, I can come and answer any questions you guys might have left. But thank you guys for all joining us today. You guys did really, really good. And thank you. Yeah, thanks for having us today. Appreciate it. Thank you. So I'm going to put him back. I'll come right back, okay?